Going to work with our middle tomato next. We're going to start out with our dark values. So I'm hitting the brown. And I wanted to get, the brown's going to go in this part right here. And so that's kind of important. But remember on the last one, I put in just a little bit of a lighter value right along the edge here. And that helps because we need to have the front tomato slightly lighter in this one so it sticks out a little bit from our shadow side. Okay, so we're going to put in that darker brown, and this is the cast shadow from the first tomato, which is over here on this other one. And it kind of, it shows here on this one, it kind of comes up. We don't see it up here as much, but I'm going to take that dark brown kind of up just a little higher, just on the edge as it comes down here. And then we can have it in this shadow area.
I mean, you got the right point, but like...
Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's take this around the edge. Take this back this way some more. And it does come this way. So we got that happening here. We got to twist around here to make sure I get the right angle so I can make that curve. There we go. And this one is going to kind of go up a little bit here too. Because this is coming back up here and around on that side. And a little bit there. And then the back side up through here too. Now on this one, you've got to remember that we are pushing the values. The dark value is darker, so it's a little bit higher contrast.
Like, he messaged me earlier because I haven't been following so he hasn't messaged me since I got this on.
Okay, so now we have a little bit of the darker brown coming down here. The main value of the backside is going to be this other value that we have happening there. So that's kind of a cool deal. Going to clean off my brush. A lot of times taking the brush, just taking it, squeezing it. That helps clear some of the extra paint out. Okay, next value I have is over here. So that's the one that we deemed as about 75% light. That's this guy. And it's a pretty big portion on this tomato right here just because it's behind. There we go. And it comes forward a little bit. That's awesome. Let's go over here and kind of get at the right angle so I can get the tip of the brush right in there. Paint up to the other. We'll blend that in just a moment. Okay, got her going. And now let's work on filling this area in a little bit more. A lot of times the darker values, you can scrub them in a little bit more. They're a little bit drier, they're not quite as oily, and so they scrub in pretty well. Whereas some of your lighter colors, like the whites, they have a high concentration of oil in them. Titanium white is a real oily one. All right. Okay, so I've got this front side of that value in here. Now let's clean off the old brush a little bit, and let's blend them together, right, by painting along the seam. And this works best if your oil paints are just a little bit oily on those. And we didn't have as much success with that on the other one. It worked okay though. So painting right along the seam, blending those pieces together. The brown into the red orange or red brown, like that, so it blends together. Let's make our brush strokes kind of go in the direction of the tomato, and putting a little bit of a hint of another value in there's not a bad thing, like that. Okay, so that's been blended together pretty well there. Let's go up here next. There we go. And then a little bit more right there. And then when we put the green in, we will be able to paint over some things a little bit. Now I'm just going to blend this a little. There's not much brown there. Let's blend that in. There we go. Now let's take this around here. This is that value shape coming around there. And then here's some more of the leaves. Let's shoot over here a little bit. Okay, we're getting closer. Let's bend that back around here just a little bit more, and then bring it right up next to the brown. Here, like that. Fill this area in there, and then we can blend in that brown. Okay, so now we've got the darker brown area of our tomato right in through here, right, and up in the back on the back side on those. It looks to me like we actually have here, there's a little bit of a shadow that's coming up this way, and so I'm going to put that in there as well, like that. And I'm going to mix just a little bit of the brown in the middle there, like that. And it has a soft, fuzzy edge on it. So a little bit of a cast shadow in that area. Okie doke. Let's go to the red, our orange red. And there's just a little thin bit of it right here. And this comes right up to that other part right there. And since we went a little bit lighter with that, it's working out pretty good for us. Like that. Notice that sets off that other tomato in front. All right, let's get some more of that red in there. Okay, all right. There we go. Looks like we're probably going to have to mix up some more of this red-orange just because I know I'm going to run out before I get to the other tomatoes. Okay. Getting more in there. Trying to make sure I can use the tip of the brush once again for defining where my edges are. So that's the stem, that's the tip of the leaf. This is getting close to the boundary where that orange is. We're going to have that little bit of reflected light right in there. Let's get the rest of this little part here. Going to use the corner of the brush to get that part. And then I can come back with the tip for that part. Okay, so that gives our red in front. I'm going to go ahead and blend that for the moment just so I can see how that's going to look. And so painting along the seam to try and blend those in. That's a good idea. And we might have to go over with the second coat eventually. Like that. Ooh, I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and get these back portions here. And I'm going to go ahead and blend that in right here while I have a moment. Like that. We get some more red. And this is pure red here. I don't have to blend any part of this. Let's get this little bit of red right here. And then let's blend, while we're just sitting here, let's blend that together too. Clean off my brush. And you can twist your brush to get your values. And I'm using the corner of the brush right here to get into that section. Corner of the brush right here to get into that section. And the corner of the brush right here. I'm going to use the flat of the brush on this side of it. So feel free to twist your brush so that the surface that you're placing will fit in where you're trying to fit it. Okay, so we filled in the little bits of the red there. Let's go back and get our light orange. Remember that one right here. And it kind of goes right around this the little tadpole, the white tadpole. Like that. And let's blend that in. I was going to clean off my brush, but I changed my mind. So it'll blend just a little bit more. I can extend that orange value out a little bit further into the red, because I'm wanting to cover up some of those pencil lines. Okay, now I'm going to clean off my brush. Flip it over. Like that. And then I got to get the white for my little bit of my tadpole. There's that little bit of reflected light. Now I got to go back and blend it in. Make it a smooth transition. Clean off my brush a little bit.
Mr. White, you're
Yes.
white, right?
I am Mr. White. You are correct. Now I'm going to go ahead and that little bit of that stark white that I needed in there to be a little bit brighter. And I can almost dab that in there. Kind of like that. So then I have my reflected light on the middle tomato. I still have a little bit of pencil lines here that I'm going to have to let things dry a little bit. Then I'm going to come back and be able to pop those in there. I may be also putting a little bit more shadow things underneath here as we draw in the stems, but that's for the future. But that's in getting the middle tomato painted.